Here's the thing. Your entire business structure, and yes, that's what your coaching practice is, can be distilled into one simple concept, technically three, but I'll get to that. And this one simple concept is so powerful that if you lock this in and figure nothing out in your business, you will still make money. And it's kind of one of my favorite things to talk about. It's something I call 1PS. One person, one problem, and one solution. And it is the cleanest, fastest, and easiest way to define, design, and structure your business. And here's the thing. This one formula alone will carry you easily into 6 figures, probably multi-6 figures. I haven't yet found a reason to change, and I'm not quite at 7 figures yet, but it'll easily carry you into there. And here's the kicker. If you get one element of this three-legged formula wrong, your business will struggle for leads, clients, and cash flow. So in this video, I'm going to go deep in troubleshooting your business using the 1PS framework. We're going to identify all of the places or all of the elements in which it's missing and fix those so that you can create a business that you love and that truly works. Let's dive in. Now here's the thing you don't want to hear. Most coaches, including you, overcomplicate everything. You overcomplicate your offers, you overcomplicate the way you explain things. And look, you're not to be blamed for this. There is marketing coming at you from every angle. There's opinions coming from every angle, and most of them are counter to each other. So what ends up happening is you get caught in tweaking the minutiae of aspects of your business. You get caught up tweaking ads, rewriting landing pages, rewriting DMs, chasing the latest Instagram trends. And while all of these things can help, they fail to address the underlying problem that is causing you to not get traction in the first place. That underlying cause, or the root of your problem, is clarity. Clarity on who you serve, clarity on the problems you solve, and clarity on how you solve them. You see, you need to think of your business like a three-legged stool or a three-legged chair. And if even one of these aspects, your problem, your solution, your person, if even one of these legs is loose or wobbly, the entire solution falls over. One person. Who do you serve? Let's start with the foundation of your business. If you don't know who you serve with great specificity, and you don't know who your ideal client is, nothing else is going to work. Now, the problem is you are way too vague about who you serve. You're out here saying, I help leaders and I help high performers. So does everyone. I help mid-career professionals. Okay, great. But who is that really? Are they a single dad trying to make ends meet? Are they a mom trying to get back in the workforce? Are they an executive or a middle manager that's truly stuck and just really desperately wants to be in the executive layer? Get very precise and very concise about who you serve and where their struggle is. You must go deeper. Until you are crystal clear on who that ideal client is, you can't create offers that resonate. You can't create marketing that speaks to their pain points. And worst of all, you definitely can't build trust. So how do you fix it? You got to get specific. Ask yourself these questions. What's their demographic? Are they mid-level executives in tech? Are they overworked moms? Are they college athletes? Are they leaders in mid-tier not-for-profits that want to make a real impact as well as make some more money? What are their psychographics? And by psychographics, I mean their goals, their fears, their ambitions, their frustrations. Who is this person at an intellectual and psychological level? And finally, what's their current situation? Where are they stuck? And what do they really, truly, honestly want to achieve in their lives? Now, I hear the confusion because I was super confused at this at first, but I'm going to give you a few examples to make it easier, right on either side of the screen. Instead of saying I help high performers, try saying I help mid-level directors in tech break into the executive layer. Can you see how calling out directors ensures the caliber of client is probably a profitable niche? The specificity of industry and ambition creates resonance with that client base. If that's you, if you're a director that wants to push into that higher echelon, you're immediately going to perk your ears up. Another example. Instead of saying I help moms, say I help overworked yet ambitious moms that yearn to achieve professionally again and find their energy and self-confidence. Which one of those is going to feel better to you if you're a mom returning to the workforce? When you get truly specific with this, it is powerful. So, if you get this right, there's a massive unlock. If you figure out who your one person is, it's going to help you define who your ICP is, your ideal client persona, how they think, how they feel, who they are. It's going to help you define your niche. And yes, I know I owe everyone a big, strong video on niching. This is a difficult topic, but this is the core of it. It helps you define your ZOG, your zone of genius, the people that you are truly positioned and most powerfully positioned to serve deeply. And most importantly, it helps you understand networking. Have you ever gone to a networking event and you're just like, who do I talk to? these are the people you want to talk to. These are the events that you want to be in front of. If you are helping small businesses, go to a business meetup group. If you are helping mid-level directors in tech, and you're going to go to tech conferences and look for those mid-level leaders. The important part of this is to understand deeply who that person is. And the deeper you understand that, the more you understand your opportunities. When you get specific about your person, everything else becomes easier. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, it doesn't matter what type of coach you are. Your marketing becomes more focused, your offers become more compelling, and most importantly, your clients feel like you truly get them. The more I speak to coaching references, the more your brain subtly is going, oh, he understands coaching. That's it in action, guys. But knowing who to serve is just the first step. Let's move on to the second leg of the chair. The second element of the 1PS framework is choosing the right problem to solve. If you're not solving a specific high value problem or a high perceived value problem, you will always struggle to make real money in your business. And ultimately, you'll get stuck in the coaching by the hour death trap, which I'm sure none of us want to stay in forever. And here is your core problem. You try to solve everything. Coaching is a diverse and powerful set of skills. That's all it is. A diverse and powerful set of skills. But because it's so powerful, we struggle to get very specific with the one big problem we solve. You say things like, I help people optimize their lives, and I help leaders become better leaders or grow into a better version of themselves. But those aren't problems. They're vague aspirations at best. If you want your business to truly succeed, you need to solve a specific, urgent, and financially or tangibly valuable problem. And I hear you. What the hell does that mean? Let's do some examples. Instead of saying, I help leaders become better leaders, try saying, I help mid-level executives learn relationship building so that they can get promoted. Instead of saying, I help people optimize their energy, say, I help high-performing parents wake up with enough energy to crush it at work and crush it at home. Instead of saying, I help mid-career professionals find that next big role, say, I help mid-career professionals find those next big steps and leverage their existing skill set to actually change the path of their future career. If you get the problem right, this helps you get really, really specific with market research. I don't care what anyone says. The core element of your business is to get market research underway so you know what your customers actually need. I'll go way deeper on this later on. It lets you do pain point research. What language do they use? What do they talk about? What are the things that really hurt them? How do they explain those problems? How do they express them? This helps you supercharge your marketing. You speak directly to the core of what's really hurting them. This is how you market to leads. Not just the general well-being of the people. This helps you speak to a problem. And when you speak to a problem and you speak to that pain, people want a solution because that's who you're resonating with. And most importantly, it helps you identify a profitable change, a profitable transformation, a profitable offer. Now, the key is to focus on a problem that is urgent and painful for your ideal client. See how the two work together? Problems that really keep them up at night. Problems that really make them break out in a cold sweat. Don't solve surface level stuff. Solve things that hurt them so much they can't afford to stay stuck. And most importantly, realize that those problems are the problems they're willing to pay to solve. Now, here's a quick test. If you can't accurately and concisely say what problem you solve in one sentence, keep refining it until you can. As an example, I help life and career coaches build six-figure practices in 4 days a week or less by installing systems and helping them develop sales skills that don't feel gross and pushy. You see how I captured who I'm addressing, where they're at in their journey, what they need, where they want to go, and how I help them do it all in one sentence. That's the end game. So now you have one person you want to serve deeply and powerfully. You have one urgent problem you want to help them resolve. That just leaves the third chair leg, one solution. Now, most coaches believe competition exists, and to a certain extent that is true. But I'm here to tell you that if your solution is on point, then there is only ever a market of one. Now, not all solutions are created equal. Your solution must be clear, structured, and unique, or at least perceived to be unique. Now, most of the time we overcomplicate this and we feel like we have to make it look like there's some secret sorcery going on, and we have the storyline in our head that says, oh man, they wouldn't pay for that, and they wouldn't pay for this, and they won't like that, and they won't like this. And the answer is, that's bullshit. It's fear, it's hesitance, it's judgment, it's all these kinds of great things. And what actually happens is that your ideal client probably already knows all of the things you're going to teach them. Sorry, It's true. They probably know all of the magic behind coaching. They probably already know most of the things they need to do. Almost everyone knows all the steps, at least at a high level, or they can find it out for the things that they need and want. But here's the fun part. They want help with it, and that's perfect, because if they could take action on their own, they'd already be there. So it's your job to position your solution as the easiest path to get them what they want. Simple, concise, easy. But it's not enough to just say, I help you get there with coaching. That doesn't mean anything to anyone. Realistically, you need to explain how your solution is going to help them get to where they want to go. So, for example, again, instead of saying I help people get jobs, or I help people find a role, or I help people get employed, say I help mid-level executives optimize their LinkedIn profile, create killer resumes, and master interviews so they can land six-figure roles. Feels a bit better, right? It's clear, it's easy to understand, and people can just simply say, I want that, give it to me. Please, take my money. Instead of saying I help people lose weight, and look, as someone who has lost 200-ish pounds in my life, that means nothing. Try saying, I help busy moms lose 20 pounds in 8 weeks by optimizing their sleep, their nutrition, and their habits. I know which one I prefer. Instead of saying I help busy professionals get focused and achieve clarity. Don't even get me started on selling clarity. Try saying I help busy professionals lock in their daily routine, audit their time, and design a life system that finally gets them moving again. Do you hear the level of desire that would conjure versus something vague and top level that doesn't actually share some of the nuggets of how you're going to get it to them? We're aiming to reduce the risk or the perception of risk by increasing the familiarity with your solution. And I know that sounds a little complex. It's kind of like a seesaw that you've constantly got to play with marketing. But essentially, it just gives people a framework to go, yes, I can do that. I want that. Let's go. So the big unlock for the solution is, this will help you develop and understand what a good offer or a great offer is. More importantly, it's going to help you understand when you have a very bad offer. It won't resonate. If you are speaking to the solution and no one reaches out to you or no one says that they like it, spoiler alert, it lets you understand what your MVP is. And no, this is not most valuable player. This is minimum viable product. Every time you create a new offer, every time you create a new program, every time you start a group program, every time you start a course, every time you start a webinar, any of this stuff should start with a minimum viable product that you need to get in front of your client and iterate. I can do a whole video series on this, and I have for my clients, but maybe I'll do one for YouTube. But honestly, these two concepts here are hinged purely on how well you understand your one solution. MVP, BAYG, build as you go. Again, this ties in, build a minimum viable product, build as you go, iterate with feedback. You will not know where to start or where it needs to go, the overarching journey, unless you start understanding and expressing your total solution. And the last thing, perhaps the most important, is its packaging. You need to understand how to package your offer. You need to understand what tools are desirable. You need to understand what features are desirable so that you can speak to the benefits of working with you. Now, your solution should feel like a bridge that safely carries them from that deep, dark hole they're trapped in to their highly desirable outcome. It doesn't matter what those two extremes are. It needs to sound like it could reasonably do the job of moving them along that path in a safe, easy, and efficient manner. Again, it should be clear, actionable, and easy to understand. And here's a pro tip for those of you that are a little bit more advanced. Name your solution. Give it a unique name or a framework to really help it stand out. For example, I call one of my frameworks 1PS. One problem, one person, one solution. It's simple, it's memorable, and instantly communicates how I can help. So, now you understand the 1PS framework. How can you deploy it directly into your business? Well, as always, here's some action steps. I'll pop these up here for you so copying homework is easy. 1. Start with one person. Ask yourself, who do I serve? If your answer is vague or broad, get specific. Think of one client that you love working with in your mind and then describe them. That is your one person. 2. Define your one problem. What is the specific, urgent problem that I most frequently solve? If you can't explain it in one sentence, keep refining and keep reiterating and keep simplifying until you can. I know it's counterintuitive, but the more simple you make this, the easier and the faster people will want it. 3. Clarify your one solution. How do I solve that problem? What are my unique processes or methods or frameworks that I use time and time again that could really help me explain how I move people through this process? If it's not clear, again, simplify it. Noticing a pattern? Now, here's the real trick. Take all of that you wrote, should be half a page max, and test it. Can you explain your 1PS in 30 seconds or less? If it doesn't naturally, easily, and smoothly roll off the tongue, and this is funny because I screwed mine up like 6 times earlier in this video, so yay editors. But if it doesn't naturally and smoothly roll off the tongue, go back and refine and play with each element until you create a sentence that really lands, and then go and test it with your market. Pretty simple, right? Now, when all 3 elements are aligned, your business will feel like it's running on rocket fuel. That murky unknown will start fading away, and you'll realize you have some real concrete direction in your coaching practice. Your marketing will resonate, your sales will flow, or at least have significantly less resistance. And your clients, most importantly, will start getting incredible results. Now, once you dial these in, you'll start feeling that cloud of confusion disappear, and leads will be easier to bring into your ecosystem. And if you want help to close them, jump over to the next video, the next clip, where I help run you through the script that I've used and I've helped my clients use to close literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. Jump on over, grab a coffee, and I'll see you there.